Welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the unseen machine that makes a world-class hotel run. We're talking about interdepartmental coordination. It's absolutely critical, but it's often the most invisible part of delivering that flawless guest experience. Hello, and a warm welcome to all the students of Europe Hotel School. It's a real pleasure to have you here. This program, it's all about giving you practical, real-world knowledge that you can actually use. Our goal is simple: to support your professional growth in this incredible industry. All right, let's jump right in. I know, it sounds a little dramatic, doesn't it? A single typo? But trust me, by the end of our time here, you'll see exactly how one tiny error in one department can send ripples across the entire hotel, completely compromising the guest experience. That's the puzzle we're going to solve today. Okay, first things first, we need to challenge a really common way of thinking. We often picture hotels as just a collection of separate, specialized departments, but that's not really how it works at all. So, take a look at this. On the left, you've got that clean, tidy org chart we all know. It looks so simple, but the reality, on the right, well, that's a whole different story. A hotel isn't a bunch of boxes. It's a living, breathing network. Your role isn't just a box, it's a connection point. And it's right there, at those connection points, where things can get messy and communication can break down. So to really get a handle on this network, let's try to visualize the guest's journey in a different way. I want you to think of it like a relay race. The second a reservation is made, that's it. The race is on. That booking isn't just a number. It's the starting pistol that activates every single department. And the baton, which is guest responsibility, gets passed smoothly from reservations to concierge, then to the front office, over to housekeeping, and on and on. The success of the whole stay, it all comes down to how well each of those handovers is executed. But what happens when that handover is fumbled? What happens when somebody drops the baton? Well, the consequences can be instant and they can be severe. It creates this massive domino effect. We've all been there, or at least heard about it. It's just a terrible way to start a guest's stay. And the immediate thought is, oh, housekeeping must be running behind. But is that what's really going on? A lot of the time, the real problem is hiding one step back in the relay. The issue wasn't the execution of cleaning the room. It was a communication breakdown between the front office and housekeeping. The information, the baton, it got dropped. Oof, here's another really high-stakes failure. A guest's last impression of your hotel is now defined by stress and frustration, and it looks like it's all the front office's fault for being too slow. And this just perfectly shows that domino effect. The real problem actually started in food and beverage. That then caused a delay for the finance department, which ultimately created a huge bottleneck at the front desk. You've got 3 different departments involved in one single service failure. It's almost never just one team's fault. Okay. So, we've seen how things can go spectacularly wrong. Now, let's flip the script. Let's look at the blueprint for getting it right. How do we make sure that baton is never dropped? Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. Information accuracy is the absolute bedrock of hotel operations. A misspelled name isn't just a small mistake, it's a missed airport pickup. An incorrect guest count messes up everything from restaurant staffing to room amenities. Every single detail is a link in a long chain, and just one weak link can compromise the whole thing. So, here's the bottom line. Success really rests on these 3 pillars. You start with the foundation, absolute information accuracy. Then, you build on that with pillar 2, clear, unambiguous communication. No room for guesswork. And finally, pillar 3, respecting task sequencing. Housekeeping can't prep a room until its status is updated. Finance can't close a bill until every charge is posted. Each step has to perfectly set up the next one. But here's the thing. You could have the most perfect systems in the world, and things can still fall apart. And that's because coordination isn't just about processes and software. It's about people. It's about the human factor. So when something does go wrong, it's so important to ask this question. Was this a system failure? Or was it a human failure? Because so often, the breakdown isn't in the tech or the procedure. The real problems, the really tricky ones, they're caused by the relationships between the teams. This quote just hits the nail on the head. When the front office really understands the pressure housekeeping is under, they're going to communicate more carefully. When food and beverage gets the urgency of checkout, they're going to prioritize posting those charges. Empathy isn't some soft skill here, it is an absolute operational necessity.
So let's bring this all home. Why does all this intricate, sometimes frustrating coordination matter so much? What's the one single goal that unites every department no matter what they do?
Despite all the different roles, all the specialized skills, all the separate performance metrics, every single person who works in a hotel shares just one, a single, ultimate objective.
And that's it. The guest. No department's purpose is to serve another department. Everyone, from the person in engineering to the accountant in finance to the chef in the kitchen, everyone is there to serve the guest. And when you realize that simple truth, it changes your entire perspective. As you go out and start your careers, please remember this. Never ever see your job as just a checklist of tasks you have to do. See it as a vital, integral piece of a much larger system. You aren't just working for a department, you are crafting the guest's experience. And that leaves us with one last question, a challenge for you. In every decision you make, every process you design, and every team you lead, you're going to face a choice. Are you going to reinforce the walls between departments, or are you going to build bridges of communication, empathy, and collaboration? The choice you make, that will define not only your own success, but the success of your entire hotel. Thank you